These are the people running the country. This is who we are putting our faith in to negotiate with world leaders on our behalf. We're putting our faith in a group that can't even organize their own convention. And it's not like this was sprung on them. They've had 4 years to put this thing together. And that was the best they could do? While watching the services at Woke United Methodist last night, it reminded me a lot of high school. When you think about it, high school is representative of society. High school, very cliquish, just like it is in the real world. You have the athletes, the football team, the basketball team. Well, Casey, what about the baseball team? Yeah, I guess we can't forget about the baseball team, but just like it is in the real world, baseball team pretty much ignored in high school too. You have the popular kids, you have the average kids, you have the nerds, also known as the future employers for most of the athletes, but there's a particular group in high school, and every school has this group. The outcast. Typically, this group very bitter. They think everyone is against them. They perceive themselves as victims. They rebel against anything the popular kids are doing. If the popular kids are going to church on Sunday mornings, the outcast identify as atheist. When all the cool kids are at the football game on Friday night, the outcasts, they're at home playing Dungeons and Dragons. Cool kids come in on Monday morning talking about college football, the NFL, the NBA. The outcasts, they're talking about the latest episode of Star Trek. Ooh, Princess Leia looks so masculine as captain of the Death Star. Usually, the outcasts are angry at the world. They're filled with bitterness because socially, they're huge embarrassing failures. But if you've ever wondered what happened when the outcasts from high school grew up, if you've ever wondered how they turned out as adults, you were given the answer last night at the Democratic National Convention. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. The huge embarrassing failure, it started immediately last night. I got home with my evening coffee, turned on Fox News as the wife was cooking dinner. It was around 7 o'clock. I thought that was the start time for services at Woke United Methodist, 7 o'clock. I was expecting to see the choir leading the crowd in the traditional hymns. Amazing tree, I worship thee. Drop your acorns on me. I once was blind, but now I'm woke. Was colorblind, but race is all I see. When I turned on the TV, I didn't see the choir. I noticed this weird silence. It was so quiet in the arena, I could hear Fred and Ted wrestling around in the ladies' room backstage. Fox News, they showed a live shot of the crowd. Well, correction. Fox News showed a live shot of the arena. I can't call it a crowd because no one was there. Check it out for yourself. Initially, I thought Fox was showing footage of a crowd in Chicago who showed up to see Angel Reese miss wide open layups for the Chicago Bravado in the WNBA. But then I remembered that Cam Harris has been drawing crowd sizes like this for weeks all over the country. No wonder the WNBA is supportive of Cam Harris. They've got something in common. Neither one can pack an arena. Now, according to some, there's a logical explanation as to why no one showed up to support Cam Harris. Her supporters couldn't get to the arena. There were so many people outside begging to get in. It was pandemonium! No, there were so many people outside waving Hamas flags and peacefully protesting. The DNC was delayed 20, maybe 30 minutes because pro-Palestinian protesters, they were blocking entry to the building. The same protesters that deacons at Woke United Methodist refused to condemn. The first night of the convention, it was filled with embarrassment both in and outside of the arena. Allow Uncle Casey to reintroduce you to the people that you have forgotten about from high school. I put together a compilation of speakers from the first night of the DNC, along with people who attended the convention. It was interesting. It's amazing how stark the contrast is between the Republican convention and the Democratic convention. Now, I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I just have a hard time lately relating to the modern Democratic Party. Maybe this is why. Watch for yourself.
Hello! I'm Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and this is Project 2025.
And we are going to build a younger, darker, hipper, fresher, sneaker-wearing labor movement.
My perfect world, every Republican is out of the country and all the immigrants come in. That's what I want.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1,000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Actually, don't use this.
Kamala, why?
Well, she's honestly, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Because Trump sucks ass.
Do you know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he? I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah.
So I ain't 100% yet, so I can't answer that yet.
Kamala's the one.
What's your favorite thing about the last 4 years that Kamala Harris has been vice president?
She wasn't a president.
How's it been selling? Good?
I don't know. We just had a bunch of police told us to burn our shirts.
First of all, I no longer feel bad for the people of Chicago. You want to know what happens to a great city under decades of woke leadership? Look at Chicago. I don't feel bad for the people of Chicago because they keep electing the same people and expecting different results. You know, 5 or 10, maybe even 15 years ago, Glenn Beck, he used to say that there would come a time where you would not recognize your own country. Hell, I think he was saying this when he was working at Fox News back in the late 2000s. He also used to say that there would come a time when the mask would come off. And he wasn't talking about the COVID mask. He said there would come a time when the mask would come off and the far left, they would no longer be afraid to show the country what they're really about. Now, at the time, Glenn Beck, he was ridiculed. He was treated like an outcast by the outcast in the mainstream media. But there is no denying the fact, Glenn Beck, he was absolutely right. 20 years ago, it was unfathomable that Hamas supporters would be protesting outside of a political convention, with many of them being from America. 20 years ago, if you said you were having a gender-neutral restroom at the Democratic convention, the people attending, they would ask, what the hell's a gender-neutral restroom? 20 years ago, and this was around the time that I was still in high school, race, it was barely a topic of conversation because we didn't see color. Equity was something that you built in your home. Unity, it was a classic song by Queen Latifah. When diversity was mentioned, people were talking about diversity of thought. Today, the entire focus of the Democratic Party is on identity politics. Supposedly, last night was dedicated to our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden. He was the keynote speaker on the first night of the convention. Several anonymous speakers who came before him, they were praising his strength and leadership. Ooh, isn't John amazing? He is the greatest president in the history of the People's Republic. Put this man on Mount Rushmore. You're no longer allowed to call it Mount Rushmore. Damn it, put this man's face on a hill. If John Biden is the best president in American history, why did they push him out of office? Why did they replace him with Cam Harris, who is without a doubt one of the most unpopular politicians in recent memory? If John Biden's so great, why in the hell are they replacing him? Just like the start of the convention, there were thousands of empty seats when John Biden was finally allowed to speak. Can't blame the peaceful protesters this time. They were either at home or they were incarcerated, waiting to be processed and released with no bail. Like most speeches given by John Biden, the speech was painfully boring. The highlight of the speech, it was when Johnny B stated the obvious. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening illegal immigration. Yeah, no shit. Not even called illegal immigration anymore. They are now calling it undocumented migration. Soon, it will simply be called legal. The speech given by John Biden, that's not the real story here. Johnny B was supposed to give his speech in prime time. I know a lot of people have kind of forgotten this because he's being treated as an afterthought by the mainstream media, but Joe Biden, he's still the president. Because of all the disorganization and delays, because of the plethora of speakers who were allowed on stage that no one gave a shit about, Joe Biden's speech, it was pushed back to 10:30, 11:30 Eastern, meaning most people were asleep. Most people didn't see it. It's hard not to think that this was not done by design. Maybe, just maybe, they were worried that John Biden would embarrass them like he did during his debate with the Trumper, or like he has done countless times over the last 3.5 years. Whatever the excuse, it doesn't matter. Whether it was caused by delays or whether it was by design does not matter. It is absolutely inexcusable what they did to Joe Biden last night. I felt bad for him, all kidding aside. I felt bad for Joe Biden last night. Whether you agree with him politically or not, which I don't, he did not deserve to be treated that way. He didn't deserve the complete lack of respect that was given to him by his own party. If the schedule was delayed by 30 minutes, you cancel one of the other doofus speakers and you make room for the president. Joe Biden, he should have been the last person affected by the convention being delayed. You think they would do that to Barack Obama? You think they would do that to Billy Clinton? Joe Biden has spent a lifetime in the Democratic Party. 50 years. 50 years. Last night was supposed to be his goodbye. Last night was supposed to be dedicated to his lifetime of service. And that's how you treat him? What happened last night to Joe Biden? That tells you all you need to know about Woke United Methodist. Why would anyone be loyal to them? If they treat one of their leaders that way, how do you think they're going to treat you? The vast majority of the country concerned about illegal immigration, inflation, and the economy. Those are the three biggest concerns of the vast majority of voters. Want to know what the deacons are concerned about? What are their priorities? Last night, Orange Man Bad, he was mentioned 157 times. The economy, 27 times. The border, 8 times. Crime, 6 times. High prices, 5 times. Inflation, 3 times. What does that tell you? Tells me they're not all that worried about us. But give me your thoughts on this. First night of the DNC, unmitigated disaster. Arena was half empty most of the night. Everything was delayed. There was confusion with the bathrooms. I think Joe Biden was disrespected. Damn sure it was not a good look, but will it really matter? Because the media, they are going to present it in a positive light. Give me your thoughts on the convention. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.